Well, we needed some new pillows, and they had these super high-tech pillows at Costco today. Panda Life. These are made, the outer shell is made with some sort of a polyester and bamboo derivative, making it eco-friendly. And the inside is made of ground-up pandas, making it very soft and comfy. So they say. This is 2 king-sized pillows vacuum sealed into an exploding bomb of a package. Now I think there's 2 packages here, so I'm going to pop this first one, and I'm not expecting an explosion. And inside we have a 2-pack of 2 flat objects, which are presumably pillows. Now when I open these, we'll start with this one right here. Now once I break the seal, I expect it to explode. Well, so much for an explosion. Oh, here goes. I hear the sound. Whoa! It's moving. It's moving. And it's a pillow.
Shocking.
Compare and contrast. All right, let's open another one. Once again, finger through, break the seal. There we go. Burp, burp, broke the seal. Okay, nobody puts their head on these pillows until they've aired out, they've been put in pillowcases, and people are all clean. Okay, excellent. Pillows. Panda Life. Well, let's take a look at it. I know it's a little dark. It'll get brighter here in a second, I think. We're just stepping down into the pool so that you can see it. It's not empty yet. But it's horror lighting. Now it's that didn't sound good. That's quite a ways off, but still. Anyway, I've got the sprinkler off. It's dark. It's still over 90. But hopefully it's because the sun's not beating down, it can go longer without water. So we'll hit it with some water again before bedtime. But obviously it drains faster if you're not putting water right back into it. So I'm hoping we can get some good solid hours before dawn and be done with this. That's my hope. I don't know if you can see it there, but let's focus the light a little bit. That's the float for the pump. So we're beginning to see when I don't have the water running, then the goop stays behind. When the water is running, of course that goop gets pushed down into the mire. The Grimpen mire. See if you've got that on. See if you've got that for a reference in your literary archives. Grimpen Mire. Leave your answer in the comments below. I think that's going to be done in just a couple, 3 hours. It's almost there. So much for the cutout switch on the pump. Up early, I decided to come out and take a look at the pool. And as soon as I opened the door, I knew that the pump was running dry. which it shouldn't be able to do because of the floating valve. Anyway, one thing I was never able to test and wasn't sure about with this pump is how far before the pump cuts out, because it's got this floating mast, or it's not a ballast, it's a float. But unlike being on an arm, it's loose, so apparently the mechanism's inside the actual floating part. And that's on a cable that's a foot long. And my concern here is that, you know, where does it cut off? Does it cut off when it's up like this? Does it cut off when it's like this? Or, you know, what happens? Unfortunately, it cuts off pretty high, which means that actually the pump shouldn't be able to drain the pool out completely by almost a foot, which is bad. But it had fallen over on its side and apparently defeated the switch. So it was sucking air, and who knows how long it's been sucking air. But it was at least running, so I unplugged it, and I've already been down in the pool here for half an hour or so, so unfortunately I didn't think to do this when I first came out. But at first I tried shoveling some of it out, but it's a very, you know, unless you're standing in the dead bottom, it's a very slippery angle for standing on, and you know, with the gunk there, it's dangerous. So I finally had to take a hose and hose off the gunk, which of course puts more water in the bottom. Anyway, I forgot to say I did get the pump upright, but as soon as it's upright, it doesn't work. I'm thinking about manually defeating the switch here. It's down in the gunk. If I could get a string around the float, I could lift it up for a little bit and take a little bit more out. But I think I'm just gonna have to find a pair of shoes I really don't like and go straight down into the center of that muck and take a bucket and fill the bucket and haul the buckets out. I think that's the only way around it. We're close now, and I'm gonna want to do this morning before it gets hot, if I can, because I'm gonna have to put the water back on as soon as the sun comes up to start keeping the cement dry, which is of course gonna fill it in. But if it's filling in with cleaner water, I'm okay with that. I'll show you the results in a minute, but I think I already mentioned I was out at 4 early, very early, and nothing I could do could get the pump switch to take that last 6 inches out, so I took it out with a bucket, actually one waste paper basket at a time. Well, first I got the leaf rake and just held it in my hand. I had to go out into the stuff. It's disgusting. You know, the distilled essence of slime and decomposing matter at the bottom. It was foul. And got in with the leaf rake, and I would just scrape it along the bottom, and it was so thick with slime that it wouldn't drain out of the net. You had to slosh it back and forth. As it moved, it would open up enough that it would pour out, and eventually you could get it down to the muck, and then I could walk the muck up from the 10-foot end and throw it over the edge. And after I did that, and I was no longer getting any junk, then I went after it with the garbage can, and eventually I got it down to about 3/4 of an inch, and then that was a lot of sand. I'm worried about the sand. I know they did work on the filter a while back, but it seems like there's an unusual amount of sand in the bottom of the pool. And anyway, I wet vac that up, and then the pool was empty. Yay! And then I had to water down the sides, and then the pool wasn't empty again. And I had to haul out another 6 buckets of water, which, you know, it's basically walk down the dangerous steep end, get in the water, slosh it up, walk up, throw it over the side, repeat. It's exhausting. I got it all done before the sun was over the house anyway. And I'm knackered. I'm done. I'm going to have some more breakfast. I had an earlier breakfast. I've taken a shower as I was just covered in muck, black algae, nasty. And and it's not even time for the first cricket match. That's just boggles my mind. It feels like this day has been going on forever. Like this piece to camera. Anyway, I'll get some pictures of it in a little bit. I didn't have the camera out there, and in case I fell in. But I'll go get some pictures and show you what it looks like emptied, and then we'll go from there. I must say I'm not happy with the pump I've got. As I mentioned, it's got the high float on it, and that just makes it useless for draining the bottom of the pool. So I've gone to Home Depot, and I've rented a different pump. And it sits at the bottom, and it sucks all the way out from the bottom, and has a 50-foot fire hose on it. And it drains out the last of that stuff that I'm filling up as I keep the pool wet pretty damn well. So lesson learned, rent that for a few days, and I've got it rented till tomorrow for the moment. But that should be long enough for us to clean the pool. But I gotta go out and get it wet again. We've decided to go in whole hog on this, and so we're doing an acid wash. And when I say we, I of course mean Chuan, because if I spent 2 hours bending over the edge of the pool pouring acid out of a bucket, my back would be utterly destroyed. Anyway, we're just putting in a solution of 50% pool acid and letting it sit and then wash it off. It's a slow process. It makes a visible difference. It definitely makes a visible difference to the pool. Unfortunately, it doesn't make it perfect. There's still a few spots that are just not responding to the acid wash. And, you know, I guess tough shit. But would be nice if it were perfect, but it's not. 9:15-ish, and we're ready to start filling the pool back up. Let's go take a look at what it looks like before we start. Oh, it's almost midnight. We've been filling the pool since about 9. So that's 3 hours worth of water. Obviously, it's a lot more water when you get out here, so I don't think we have to worry about it being filled by 5 o'clock when Chuan gets up for work. I'm tired. 4 a.m. I've been working on this since 4 a.m. It does look really pretty damn good, I have to say. I just wish I didn't hate this thing so much. I wish they weren't just such a big pain in the ass. it is what it is. Take the pump back tomorrow morning. I rented a, yeah, I told you that. Once it gets hot again, we'll have to be spraying the sides constantly, but it should, I just sprayed them. It should be fine for the night. It's actually 78. It's quite nice. Quite nice, considering it was supposed to be 106 or so today. I'm gonna go get some dinner. I haven't had dinner. I've been podcasting for the last 2.5 hours. Unexpectedly popped up at the last minute. We were supposed to record Wednesday, but it got shifted at the last minute. So wasn't ready, and it shows. But there you go. All right, off to bed. Some people like to shower at night. Some people like to shower in the morning. I'm a shower in the morning kind of person. In Taiwan, they're all shower at night type people. Now, there's a reason why I don't like to shower at night. And this is the reason. I will have massively uncontrollable hair, worse than usual, for the rest of the day. I had to shower last night before bedtime because of the pool stuff. So let's go take a look at it right now at 6:45 in the morning. Of course, I'll have to continue to keep the sides wet as it fills. It takes a long time, although it's done pretty well. We've reached the steps. Well, I've got 2 hoses on it now. So the pool is filling faster. I've stretched a long hose from the front of the house. That's where the water comes in. Higher water pressure. We're already up to the light and over the first ladder rung. I've just come back from the pool place. I took a sample of the water for analysis, and they ran it and ran the numbers and gave me the chemicals to dump in the pool to get it right up to speed, which was shockingly small amount of shock, as it happens. So we'll see. It hasn't quite topped the skimmer basket, so I can't start the pump yet. And I have some concerns with the amount of sand we found in the bottom of the pool when we cleaned out, that it could be sand leaking from the pump, which would be a bad thing. Which would mean we'll have to have the filter replaced. But we'll cross that bridge when it burns. In any case, it shouldn't be much longer. I'd guess 90 minutes. Tops. Maybe even less than that. And it should be up over the tiles and ready to try a pump startup. Part of the problem with this pool is its shape and its depth, and the fact that it was so old that when I bought the house 30 years ago, almost, it had it still has the serial number from the manufacturer emblazoned on it. I contacted them, and it was their old serial number series from when the company first opened back in the 50s, 40s, and they had no records on it. So the best we've got is an estimate. I spent a fair amount of time doing some trigonometry today, and I think I've got the best estimate yet for the amount of gallons of water in there at about between 13 and 14,000 gallons of water. So we'll do our initial chemical stuff based on that. It's technically full. It's up over the tiles. It's into the skimmer basket, so I'm gonna see about starting the pump here for a little bit. I'm going to let it come up a little higher still. Not much, another inch or so, but we're just about ready to go. Well, I'm afraid that was unavoidable. There's obviously some water still in the filtration system, and it just got blown into the pool, which has made a nice green cloud in my beautiful, beautiful clear pool. But I think it is of such a small quantity that in a very short order it will disappear from view. We can hope.